everybody, welcome back to my channel, Made with Love. My name is Heather and today is Monday, December 9th of 2024 and today is my day 8 of my 12 days of Christmas sewing. So today I'm going to make pet stockings for my 3 animals. So I'm starting with this large pet blanket that I got from Dollarama for $3.50. It measures 38 inches by 39 inches or 98 centimeters by 100 centimeters. So that was a pretty good piece of material to make 3 pet stockings out of. So they're going to be a pretty good size. So the first thing I did is I just took a stocking that I had and I just traced it and made myself a nice large template. Just got to cut that out and I'm going to lay out my fabric and we'll get to working on this. Alright, so got this traced out, so I'm just going to cut it out to make my pattern. I made stockings for my pets a couple of years ago. Now I wanted to make some more this year, but this year I wanted to make them lined, but I just don't have any of the material for lining. I was at Walmart and I was just looking at the fabric they had there, and I was looking at the secondhand stores and just trying to find what would work for a good lining, and I just was not going to spend that amount of money. Even secondhand, they just want so much for material lately. So I decided I'm just going to make my stockings not lined again this year, and maybe in the next year I will do some projects like making lining. So I'm going to lay this out. So I've already got my material folded into thirds, and then I'm going to fold it in half, which is why I know my pets are going to get a really long stocking. I just want to make sure that, yes, that will work. Now I'm not going to cut like this because that's too many layers and it's going to, bunch up on me and I'm going to cut things wrong. But I just want to make sure that the template of stocking I cut will fit about that approximate size of material. So now I'm just going to grab my scissors here, put those ones away. And now I'm just going to get my fabric here, my material. Like I said, so I want to cut this into thirds. So I said it was, I'm not quite sure which is which direction. I think this is I'm just going to quickly measure this to see. Yeah, it's just below 38. So this would be the one I want to cut in half. So I'm going to cut that in half now. So about 19, I think. Is it 18? Oh, I gotta go 38. Yeah, it's 19 is the halfway point. So I'm just gonna put my material up here. I'm just gonna find where the 19 would be. Approximately there. I'm just gonna cut this in half. It just kind of makes it a lot easier if I just and it has a fold line because I kind of did have these folded, and it was also bought and it was folded, so it's also kind of just trying to use like some of the fold lines to help make things easier. So I'm just going to cut this in half because I will need to cut this into 6 pieces to cut out 6 of the stocking shapes. So now I'll turn this way and now I'll cut it into thirds. sure. But well, this is 36. Huh. Well, I know I need to cut it at the 13. Did I mess up now? Nope, that's still gonna fit. I think I just kind of, yeah, messed up on my measurements when I was figuring this out the other day. I'm gonna cut where the 13 is. And then 26. And that should give me. No, because it doesn't quite fit. Shoot, what did I do? Should be cut at 12. That's what it was, not 13. Okay, so one will be cut at 13. The other two I'll just, you know, it's an approximate. So it should have been cut at the 12. That's what it was. So then these ones will be cut at 11 and a half. Well, you know, still going to give me enough to, you know, material here to work with. So I'm just going to lay this one on top and just cut those the exact same. So I've got my 6 pieces cut out. So I'm going to remove this tag. It doesn't matter if I cut these stitches because they won't be on there. So I just got to figure out which way is my front and which is going to be the back. This material doesn't really look like it has a specific right side or wrong side. I'm just going to see which side feels softer. Whichever side feels softer, I'm going to put on that would be my outside. So I'm going to pin these together, softer side together. And of course, it's all staticky. Okay, so I'm gonna put my template right there. Just want to make sure I get lined up where I'm going to get a lot of the footprints because there's some that have larger gaps between them. So now I'm just going to pin this on here. Pin my pattern on the material. Then I'm just going to trim out around the material. My scissors. I'm just giving myself a little bit of a seam, kind of, just also so I don't cut into my template, so I can use it to make the next ones. So I'm just going to do this for this one. Same for the other two. I'm just going to cut the material here into my stocking shape. So when I get all my pieces cut, I will be back. It's not going to take long to do this. There we go. We've got one stocking cut out and ready to get stitched. So I'm just going to remove these pins to hold this, and I'm going to pin the actual material now together. And then I'm going to start at the top corner here and just stitch all the way around and end up here. I know my foot doesn't quite look round. It kind of looks really bad, so I'm going to have to refix that so it looks a little bit more rounded. So I'm just pinning, so I will be stitching on the outside of the pins. And this, and then get ready to sew. And so I'm going to cut out the other two patterns and get them all pinned together, and then I will be back and ready to sew the pet stockings. Okay, so I've got them all cut out and pinned. So now I am going to stitch them up. So again, like I said, I don't have any bobbins for my sewing machine. I was out, so I've gone to one of the Walmarts. I mean, I've got two where we live, so I went to one Walmart. They didn't have any. All I found was they had just the Singer ones. They didn't have any that were universal or for Brother for some reason. Singer seems to be the only brand that Walmart sells. So I'm gonna have to either go to the other Walmart, and we also have a sewing place, so I will check in there, because I really like to use more than just the lilac thread on my sewing projects. But like I said, this is going to be inside. Nobody's going to be seeing the stitches anyways. So I'm just going to make sure I get both layers here. Pet hair in my way. Okay, let's get both these layers under my thing. I am going to do a zigzag stitch. So where do I want to move this? Right here. So my zigzag stitch is a 4. And so I'm not going to touch this stuff. So it says my position is 1.4 and my stitch width is a 3.5, and I keep my tension on a 3. I don't know. I mean, I have some material. I will adjust my tension based on my material. I find I just keep my tension on a 3, sometimes a 4, but usually just keep it on a 3. I don't know. I do basic sewing, so that's what works best for me. I also find it, unless I'm doing a very specific sewing, like I've had some material where I've had to adjust these stitch widths and stuff, I don't touch that. Whatever the machine says it should be on is what I keep it on. Okay, so now I'm ready to stitch, except I just got to move my chair. My pressure foot wire was wrapped around my chair leg, so I had trouble moving. Okay, I'm just gonna, oh, it's not going down. Okay, and do some back stitching. This seems to be going really slow. I'm gonna make sure my pins stay away from here, because I did that. That grinding sound was I actually ran over a pin. Either I missed it, or when I thought I put it down, somehow it rolled under my needle. So today I'm just gonna really make sure that all my straight pins are out of the way. And it just wants to bunch up. I just want to make sure I've got both the material under here. I do. For some reason, my foot pedal is sliding on me, and I'm not just feel like I'm not lined up right. Okay. I'm coming around the foot, so I gotta do a curve. I am not the greatest at doing curves. Slowly, and just kind of start to get this to turn. And my thread just snapped, but I'm just going to rethread it and just continue stitching these. I'll be back when I get all 3 stitched. Right, so that took me a little while, but I've got all 3 pet stockings stitched. So now I'm just going to trim off the extra thread, and I'm just going to trim off just the round parts of this, just so it's a little bit closer to the thread, but I don't want to cut the thread. I just want to get rid of some of the extra bulk that I have, especially around the curve parts. I'm just going to round this up just a little bit more here. There. Oops, got a little bit extra stuff here. That off. Okay. I'll do the other 2 in a moment, but I'm just going to start with this one, and I'm going to just pull it right side out. Give it a good little shake, and there is the one pet stocking. So I'm just going to do the same to the other ones, and then we'll be able to do the final little stitch up here at the top to make it a nice little, got some stuff I want to stitch up here on the top, or I think I'll glue it just because I just don't want to do any more sewing. I just like, I would love to. I mean, but this is one of those projects where you can sew, you can, you know, use the machine, you can hand stitch, you can even hot glue. But look at the little pet stocking. So I guess I'm just gonna trim off these other 2. I'm spilling my pins everywhere. Especially around the toe part, just make it a little more rounded. Clean up some of this extra stuffing here, or extra material, I mean. This one right side. Give it a little shake. There's that one. Oops, did I do? And the final one. And I'll decide if I wanna, what kind of a, how I want to finish these off at the top. I haven't quite decided. I do have some faux fur trim, but I don't think I have enough today to do a faux fur trim on these pet stockings. So I'm just going to see what else I have that I can use for bit of a trim on here. And final one. And there we go. I've got the 3 pet stockings made. I just gotta pull this out. Like I said, I'm not the best when it comes to doing around the corners. It doesn't quite look like a stocking. Oops, I gotta pull up more of the toe. That might help if I pull more of the toe out. But I'm not somebody who's like really good at a lot of this stuff. I'm just kind of teaching myself. It kind of looks a little funny. It's kind of got like a sharp edge to this one. Okay, so there's the 3 of them. So now I'm just gonna line them up. Got all 3. So now I just said I'll be back when I figure out what kind of a trim I want to put on the top. And I also have to make the little hanging part. So I'll be back in just a few moments. Okay, to finish these off, I'm just gonna hot glue a piece of this ribbon I've had for quite a few years. I believe it was from Dollar Tree. So it was this 9-foot wired edged Christmas ribbon, and it just says Merry Christmas, love and joy all over. So I just thought I could use this too. Just be a fast way to finish this off. That's the back side. Just trying to figure out the easiest way to hot glue this ribbon on. Unless, of course, it's wired and I bend the wire the wrong way and I've got it all twisted and I've got this going upside down. Like that. And should have measured out my ribbon before I started gluing it. Fold this up so we get this nice clean edge in the back. Just glue this down. Look at that, one nice stocking. Do the same to the other ones, although I think I should measure this before I, so let's see. There, and then double it. Be a little bit easier to work with if I just kind of I'm going to do it the same way. I'm just going to put a strip of glue on the back and start gluing from the back side. that. And then I will trim off some of this extra material up here that's above the ribbon. I just wanted to have the ribbon, just easier if I just made the ribbon centered, and then I can trim off the extra pieces. Again, just want to make sure. Oops, I did what I thought. Did what I tried not to do, and that is I glued the ribbon upside down. I'm just going to trim off this extra bit of material that's hanging over the top of the ribbon. Didn't fully work. I just material is kind of folded in on itself, so I didn't quite trim it off. This is like sweatshirt type material, and I've worked with this type of material before, and I find it hard to trim sometimes because it's just the way it folds and bends and stuff. So now I just have to make the little hangers for these. This one here. This is the one that has a little bit too much ribbon, so I'm just going to trim off this extra piece of ribbon under here. There. That's a bit better. Fold this little wire part down so it's not sticking up. There we go. Now I just have to make the little hanging parts. As I forgot about that. So I'm going to grab this other ribbon I have. It's a little bit smaller, and so I'm just going to make little hooks, a little hanging part for this. What's fun about this ribbon here is I don't really have to measure. It's got the little snowflakes on it, so I've cut each ribbon with 6 snowflakes. So I'm just going to glue it like that. nice little hanger, and then I will hot glue the little hanger inside. And these will just be hanging up. There's like, I don't think I'm going to really put anything in these, so I'm just going to let these a few minutes to dry, and then I'll hang these up on my, I'm not quite sure where I'll hang these yet, but I will show you when they are displayed and what they look like in just a few minutes. So there they are. I just kind of stuck them up here on my china cabinet with all my other stuff. I think from a distance, like the way they twisted, they look okay. I mean, I'd like to kind of round them out. So not this year, maybe next year I'll be better at it. But yeah, there we go. That's 3 quick and easy pet stockings. It's only taken me an hour and a half from start to finish today, but they are done. Right, so again, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's subscribing to my channels and watching my videos, and I'll see you in the next ones. Bye.